Alright, let's build the Red Flare, this new Estes rocket. I was just sent this rocket. I'm so excited to build it. I've got all the parts set out here. Let's just do a quick overview of the parts. I've got fins, centering rings, I've got two body tubes, nose cone, 24mm motor tube, engine hook. I've got some retaining rings, thrust ring, as well as a adapter for E motor to D motor. This little sleeve here is to help hold on the hook. I've got some launch lugs. I've got my decal, my recovery system, which is a shock cord, a parachute, and the shock cord mount. I'm bringing along some yellow glue. I'm bringing along some super glue. The instructions call for plastic cement, but I'm going to use super glue. I'm also bringing along a hobby knife. I've got a dowel for applying yellow glue inside of the motor tube. I've got a ruler, and I've got a pen or pencil that will come in handy. I'm going to go ahead and go along with the instructions. This should be relatively easy to put together, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, first thing is going to be to make some measurements on the engine tube. So get out the trusty ruler, get the engine tube. Somewhere I have a pencil, but all I'm seeing is a pen. No one else is going to see this mark except for me, because this is going to be inside the body tube. So I want to make some marks on this tube. Looks like I need a mark at the 5/16, the 1 inch, and the 3 1/4 inch. So 5/16 is going to be that's half, that's fourth, that's 8, that's 16th. If I can get this in the light a little better. Half, fourth, 8th, 16th. I need one at the that's 15/16. That's the wrong measurement. Helps if I read that right. 5/16. Let's do that. So 4/16 would be 1/4, so it's a little bit above 1/4. So there's the 1/4. That's 5/16. I'm gonna just X that out. I need one at the 1 inch mark, which is right there. I need one at the 3 1/4 inch mark. That's why you always measure twice and cut once. 3 1/4 inch mark right there. Perfect. Now we're going to cut at the 3 1/4 inch mark. This is just with the hobby knife. You just plunge it into here. You need about 1/8 of an inch cut. So usually just poke the tip in gently. I don't want it to slice too far. There we go. And now we can put in the hook. Pops right into the hole. And it looks like this black sleeve goes on. Whoa, I just smeared all my marks. Look at that. So we may remeasure those. Let's wipe that off here. Let's remeasure those. This time I'll use a Bic. Again, these marks are not super important. There's my 1 inch. There's my 5/16. Take a little bit of yellow glue. Looks like this goes to about the 1 inch mark. Smear a little glue on there. Slide it up into place. Give it a little fillet on this side. And then this centering ring with the cutout is going to go on here. I'm going to squeeze this in place a little bit because with the cutout it's not a very snug fit. I'll give it a little filleting on there to help hold that in place. We'll hold this just for a moment till the glue catches. I'm going to give it a little fillet on the top here just to help hold it in place. Let's just put a little glue there. And we use our universal tool here. Kind of spread that around. And then we'll reposition this back into place. There we go, right back to there. The hook is free. According to the picture, it looks like it comes up here. There's a little bit more overhang than I was giving it. So the instructions don't tell you if this ring goes on the forward side of that line or the aft side of the line or the middle part of the line, but judging by the picture there's about 1/4 inch of the motor tube hanging out past it, so I'm going to move this centering ring forward just so I have about 1/4 inch right there. And this just needs to dry. I'm just letting it dry a little bit longer. The next part I need is E. Let's see. It's going to be P is the orange one. So the next part's going to be this green part that's going to go into the forward end and slide down here to act as a thrust ring. There. Feels like that has grabbed onto there for the most part. So let's get ready for this next step. So this step we need to insert glue inside of the forward end. I'm going to use this little dowel, which makes it easy. Come through and just swab this in here. Actually need a little bit more than that. Let's grab a little more glue. See if I can get this glue out of here. There we go. There's a nice little ball of glue. I just keep this spinning while I put it in. Okay, and then this piece is going to slide in and all the way down in one smooth motion down to the hook, just like that. Okay, set this aside to dry. We'll move on to the next step. Next step is attaching the fins to the fin can. So let's go ahead and do that. Fin can has 3 parts. So there's this small piece of body tube. There's this part that is goes on the aft end, and then this part goes on the forward end. I've got a little piece of spalling here, so I'm just going to clean that up with the X-Acto knife, hobby knife. Kind of clean that up a little bit. And I did a test fit of these. It's like the way this works is these fins go into the slots on this. I'll do it with one fin. And then this tube fits over. The fin's just going to poke over the top of the tube. And then once you get all the fins in here, then this other piece will come down and lock that fin into place. But I'm not just going to lock it by fitting it. I'm going to use some super glue, or crazy glue, super glue. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Now, if you are not an adult and you're using the super glue, please use an adult just to ensure that everything is done safely. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here and slide in a fin. And then let's put in the body tube. And I'll just kind of push that over the top. Then we'll do that with the other fins. So let's put a little super glue right in here. Slide in another fin. And one more. You could definitely use plastic cement for this part. But the instructions show you using plastic cement to connect the plastic to cardboard, and in my experience that does not work, not well anyway. So let's use super glue. So I'm going to let that dry for just a moment. Give that a chance to catch and cure on there. And then this piece is just going to slide in place here. So I'm going to put some glue around here where it will attach the plastic as well as the cardboard. And when these go into place on these little flanges, just like on the bottom piece, there's a little area you could put glue in here. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll do this in one fell swoop. So a little bit of glue. In there. And then I want just a little bit right on here where it's going to attach to the cardboard. That should do it. Go ahead and fit that into place, and that just locks right in, just like that. Very easily done, until I bump it and knock it apart. But see, it's already holding on strong, so we're good. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to insert the motor ring, or the engine mount into this. I've got just a touch of super glue that's kind of protruding out of the top here. I'm just going to clean up that little bit there. Grab this right there. So now we can take our engine tube. I'm going to insert that into the rocket. Let's just test fit this first. So that's just going to go in. Like that. There we go. But we need to attach a little bit of glue, and again, they show using plastic cement, but I think I would use super glue on this. So let's remove this. So it comes up through this other piece at the top. So I'm just going to help to kind of push that out of the way. And it's very snug. In fact, I'm lined up. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just put some super glue on here. I don't want to get anywhere the engine hook is, because I'd like that to be able to articulate. Push that on through. So then we just have this small amount poking out up here, and we have a thrust ring, or centering ring, that's going to go over the top here. And I'm going to use yellow glue on this. I want to maybe chamfer this inside edge. I'm going to use my thumbnail just to kind of clean that up. Some of the super glue peeled color off of the Mylar there onto my fingers. That's not blood, I promise you. I'm going to just chamfer that a little bit so that that will fit on there. There we go, nice and easy. And then let's throw a little glue on it. And then we're just going to push this into place right there. Kind of clean up the excess glue. No one's going to see this. This part's all hidden, so it doesn't really matter. Now that is glued into place. Okay, now that can dry. We need to attach the body tube now, and this I will use super glue for, since it's going cardboard onto plastic. So we're just going to attach these two components here together, just like that. So let's throw a little super glue on there. And that will just slide on, give it a little twist, and that's done. I'm just going to let that dry there for a moment. I just need to attach the launch lugs and the shock cord and the parachute, and we're done. So we are very, very much nearly there. The launch lugs, I've got two of them. These are 3/16 launch lugs, and these should be about, it says 6 inches apart on here. So once this super glue has set, then I'm going to find where I want them. I think I want them on this side. And I could put one down here, and then another one. If I measure 6 inches, will be up here somewhere. So let's go ahead and measure that. So 6 inches puts it, mark it with a pen. This doesn't have to be exact, somewhere around there. And you maybe can't see that, but I can see it here under the light. So let's get a little bit of super glue, and we're going to just glue the bottom of this, just like that. You could also use like a epoxy. There's my mark right there. So I'm just going to kind of set it in place, and then we're going to center it. And then eyeball it, make sure it's straight. The best way would be to get a 3/16 inch rod and ensure that that's where you want it. I like Kentucky windage. We just do our best. As long as it's not too cockeyed, it will fit on the launch rod, and we'll be just fine. So let's go down here. Let's correct that alignment. I'm just going to sight down the rocket. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, we'll just let those dry. All right, so while those dry, let's get this part ready. I'm going to cut out the template here. Pre-fold along these lines. Again, this does not have to be exact. This is going to be inside the rocket. No one's going to see it. Take some shot cord. We'll want some yellow glue for this. And you just lay a length of shot cord into the glue, fold it over, and glue those two pieces of card together. And then that's going to go over one more time onto this big piece. Press it down firmly. Let that dry for just a minute. And now when I put this in the body tube, I want to make sure I go at least past the shoulder. The shoulder's probably about 2 inches that this is going to go into the top of the body tube. So I want this piece to be inside the tube at least, 2.5 inches or so deep, so that this doesn't bump up against this piece here. So let's go ahead and put that in. And when I put this in, I like to put it so that nothing's going to catch on an edge here when it comes out. So this wider piece is going to be towards the forward end of the rocket. I should use a little bit more glue than I normally would on here because I really want this to stay put. And I just insert it into the rocket about as far as my fingers will reach. Push it in, I slide it down even a little further, and I mash it down as good as possible. And then I will lay this on its side to dry so that piece can stay there while we do the next step. The next step is going to be to attach the parachute and the shock cord to the nose cone. It's often easiest if you, this has a little kind of a notch, a little angle cut to it. I'm going to accentuate that just a little bit more, just to make it a little bit easier to get it into the nose cone. So I'm just going to cut this down to a nice kind of a pointed taper here. That'll be a little easier to get into the nose cone. And the nose cone has little spalling inside here. When I cut this out, I don't want the blade to at any point risk damaging the little angle here. So I'm cutting kind of towards the nose cone. And then I just sort of make some equidistant cuts here. It should just about pop out. I'm not going for it all in one go. I'm definitely not trying to force the blade. There we go. There. So then let's open the parachute. With these Estes chutes, easiest way is to unfold it entirely and lay out your lines. You're going to have a couple different sets of lines. See, these are a little bit twisted on themselves. There we go. So I've got these two lines come completely away, but this line here goes across the middle. So I've got, if I fold it in half, these 2 points are connected by a line, and then these 2 points have a line, and these 2 points have a line. So then I gather up all 3 shroud lines here in my hand. I find the center of the parachute and I pull. So now I've got, the lines are not tangled. This is the center part of the lines. I also like to kind of bring all these ends together and make sure that the ends are roughly the same distance apart as well. So this is the center of the shroud lines. So this will go through the loop in the nose cone. Sometimes if you lick it, it goes a little easier, as anyone who has tried to thread a needle will tell you. So then I reform the center. I take the tip of the parachute and I'm pinching the center in my fingers. Take that through there and pull that tight, and then I ensure that these ends are still where I want them to be. Nothing has slid out of the way. So now I can take the shock cord and attach the shock cord to this same anchor with a double knot. You can use different kinds of knots, like a bowline or other sorts of knots. Do what you're comfortable with. And because we cut that little taper in there, it's easy to feed it through and get that out of there. We'll do a double knot. We're doing this should hold it just fine. Just like that. Kind of sink that all down in there. Make sure it's tight. Looks good. You can trim this end off. You can tape this end with a little bit of masking tape to the shock cord here, and then that's less likely to untie itself. That is probably what I will do before we launch this. But for now, this looks pretty good. I'm not going to stuff the parachute into the body tube yet until I'm certain that that glue is dried for the shock cord mount, but we can put on some decals. So if this is where my launch lugs are, the opposite side is going to be my working side of the rocket. So I have this part and this part to work with. And I've got a couple of great looking stickers here, and there's some stickers that will go on the fins as well as on the main part of the rocket. So let's peel this off. And I think I'm going to put this right here. So I set it carefully. I go down the middle, and then I can kind of push top and bottom down. That looks great. And now these other pieces are going to go on the fins. And this is going to be, how does this go? Goes bottom to top corner. So let's do the thicker piece first. So bottom of the fin. Up to the top corner. Whoops. Got a little bend in there, so we'll just push the bubble out. There we go. Do the next one. Get these peeled off. These are so much easier than the wet decals, where you had to get a little bowl of warm water and soak the decals in it. Of course I say that, but now I can't get another one of these off. There we go. This is another one to go down here. I've got that right in the corner. So we'll go right to the corner. Oh, well, that ain't straight. Peel that off. And use the hobby knife. Let's straighten that out a little bit. There we go. That's better. Grab another one. And you are, of course, welcome to decorate this however you would like. You could paint it if you wanted, but man, it already looks pretty dang good with these, with the Mylar and with these stickers. Push that air bubble out of there. It's still a little crooked, isn't it? Let's fix that. That looks better. Okay. A couple more of these. I mean, you kind of get how I'm doing this. I don't know that you need to see me do all of these, but see if we can get these on here. Now we can do this side up here. I got a little bit of a curve in that one too. There we go. Just a few more. Let's see if I can get these started off of here. There we go. And we need one more. All right, that looks awesome. I'm excited to fly this. We will throw a D engine in here and send that up for its first launch. But I've got plans to throw this up on an E motor, even a reloadable E18 motor that uses a little reloadable metal case, and it's ammonium perchlorate, and this thing's going to actually scream on that, and it will just look awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited for this rocket. Thank you for watching the build. I hope that you have the opportunity to pick up a Red Flare as well. When it is available on their website, be sure to use our discount code APEX to save 10% off your order. It supports Apex, the channel, it supports Estes, the program, and supports you because it's extra 10% in your pocket that you can use to buy more rockets. Thanks a lot.